Which of the following is not true? A. Japanese rhinoceros beetles can be eaten. B. If you want to stay safe from alligators, the best time to visit the water is at night. Or C. This is the 50th episode of Formosa Fauna. Only one of those is incorrect. Keep listening to Formosa Fauna to find out which. Spend the next 20 minutes feeding your brain with Formosa Fauna so you can learn all about the animal kingdom and become smarter than all of your friends. Every Friday is Formosa Fauna Friday. Hello, I'm Tristan Hildebrand, the voice of Formosa Fauna. I love animals and I love talking about them. If you're even remotely curious about the animal kingdom, you're in the right place. Thank you for joining me yet again. Especially thank you to those of you who've stuck around for all 50 episodes of Formosa Fauna. This episode is the 50th, and while it's a lot of hard work to produce 20 minutes of solid animal content each week, I continue to learn so much by doing so, and I feel like I have yet to even scratch the surface of what's out there as far as interesting animal knowledge goes. So keep sticking with me, and we're in for a long, fun, educational journey. On today's agenda, we're going to talk about the iconic Japanese rhinoceros beetles in Taiwan, more alligators in Florida than people in Hsinchu, Taiwan, clickers used in dog training, and Google contributing significantly to Taiwan's water system development. Let's dive right in. In the heart of central Taiwan, a tiny but mighty creature is facing an unexpected crisis right within our green spaces. The Japanese rhinoceros beetle, a summer favorite known for its shiny horn and nighttime antenna twitches, has been breeding since June, but alarmingly, their numbers are crashing. Let's first zoom out a little bit. In Japan, the kabutomushi, the iconic Japanese rhinoceros beetle, is more than just a bug, it's a beloved summer companion. Every July and August, children armed with nets and jars head to forests, parks, and countryside trails in hopes of finding these horned insects. It's a rite of passage. Catching a kabutomushi, naming it, and bringing it home as a pet, it's a cherished childhood memory for many, many in Japan. Families often gather around the beetle corner at department stores or DIY shops where you can find everything from plastic cages and butterfly nets to specially formulated beetle jellies. During the height of beetle season, these supplies become so ubiquitous that they are practically as common as summer fireworks. Statista reports that in 2022 alone, insect pet supplies, mostly for beetles and stag beetles, generated around 1.56 billion yen in shipments across Japan. This fascination isn't just for kids, though. Adults, especially men in their 30s and 40s, according to online sources, form the backbone of beetle culture in Japan. They compete in amateur beetle wrestling matches, trade prized specimens, and even run specialty shops like Tokyo's Beetle On, which attracts around 100 customers every weekend. Nationwide, the passion has turned kabutomushi into a pop culture icon. You'll see them immortalized in manga, anime, and toys, even inspiring the Pokemon character Heracross. And they're often displayed at summer festivals and insect exhibitions. In Taiwan, the enthusiasm for Japanese rhinoceros beetles has also steadily grown, mirroring the fascination seen across the sea in Japan. While not traditionally a part of Taiwanese childhood culture, the influence of Japanese media, especially that anime and manga, why did I say that weird? Anime and manga has helped popularize beetle keeping among younger generations. Pet stores in Taiwan now commonly stock beetle supplies, including plastic enclosures and imported beetle jelly, catering to a small but passionate group of hobbyists. Some families even raise beetles from larvae as a shared activity, enjoying the slow, curious transformation from grub to armored adults. Though not yet as mainstream as in Japan, beetle culture in Taiwan is budding, especially in urban areas where contact with nature is more limited and insect keeping offers a unique way for kids to connect with the natural world. When I lived in Japan and found out about this widespread hobby, I immediately got shivers and said, "Ew, bugs!" I thought certainly the few very cute girly girls who were with me would share my reaction and my sentiment, but to my surprise, they said, "What? They're not gross, they're super cute." I think the same girls would have easily been horrified to see a cockroach or other insect, so I am fascinated by how the Japanese rhinoceros beetles, kabutomushi, have managed to break free of the icky insect reputation. Zooming back into this season's news here in Taiwan, though, on the banks of the Dongduo River in Shihu, however, community environmental educator Lin Shuling reports that beetle sightings have plummeted over the last 2 years. While aging ash trees, essential for their sap-rich meals, are part of the story, the bigger issue isn't just nature, it's human behavior. Late last year, volunteers launched a charming beetle trail along the river and planted 10 new Griffiths ash trees, doubling the existing number to 20, leading to a brief population upswing. Around 20 to 30 beetles could be spotted at a time. But just days ago, lecturer Xie Wenyo noticed a decline in sightings. No diseases, no weather drama, just people catching the beetles. During a routine check one of the Tuesdays, some folks were actually harvesting them. Xie sprang into action, creating a volunteer beetle patrol that now roams the park 5 times daily, educating visitors, discouraging beetle capture, and logging each sighting. And it gets more dramatic. Ecological photographer Minos spotted migrant workers allegedly hitting branches against tree trunks and filling buckets with beetles by the Maoluo River. When he intervened, they brushed it off. He suspects these beetles were headed for frying pans since they're considered a delicacy in some Southeast Asian cuisines. They're even a really good source of protein, according to ironwood foraging. Now, the Japanese rhinoceros beetle isn't legally protected in Taiwan, and removing them from public spaces doesn't usually lead to fines, but local officials are urging the public to stand by these horned champions, leave them be, let them mate, and preserve their role in the ecosystem. So the next time you're out for a nighttime stroll, keep your eyes on the trees and your hands to yourself. These beetles may be fascinating to observe, but that doesn't mean you have to take them home with you. According to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, there are around 1.3 million alligators in Florida in the United States. That's about 3 times the population of Hsinchu City in Taiwan. Can you imagine that? Imagine 3 Hsinchu cities, but everyone living there is a gator, and that is Florida. Don't quote me. On average, there are about 8 unprovoked attacks each year in Florida by gators. So if you are to ever encounter an aggressive alligator, what can you do to protect yourself? If you spot an alligator, the most important thing is to stay calm and keep your distance, especially if you have pets with you. Alligators view smaller animals as ideal prey, so keeping pets on a leash and well away from the water's edge is critical. Swimming with pets in areas where alligators have been seen is strongly discouraged. According to the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department, if you've recently seen an alligator nearby, such as by your yard, by your home, it's safest to keep pets inside a fenced area or indoors for several days following the sighting, since these reptiles have an excellent sense of smell and may very well return. If you're ever attacked by an alligator, your best defense tactic is to fight back. Aim for the animal's eyes or strike its head forcefully. These sensitive areas may cause the alligator to loosen its grip or even gag a little, giving you a moment to escape. If the alligator opens its mouth to reposition its hold, take advantage of that opportunity to get up and run away. Run in a straight line as fast as you can. Alligators can sprint up to 35 miles per hour in short bursts, so speed is crucial. The best way to avoid danger is through prevention. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission recommends staying out of the water at nights when alligators are most active. Never feed them and always heed posted warnings. Gator sightings are no time for photo ops, curiosity, or risk-taking. Aside from the sources mentioned, this is also according to National Geographic. I did not want to lead with this story despite it being the most significant and, impactful for me and for Taiwan, I believe, because it's just really sad. Just prepare yourself mentally. A Formosan black bear cub was found dead on the Southern Cross Island Highway Sunday afternoon, as reported by CNA. Formosan black bears are endemic to Taiwan and are listed as endangered under Taiwan's Wildlife Conservation Act. Population estimates predict no more than a couple hundred across the entire island nation. The cub was discovered by a cyclist who, upon finding the bear, moved the bear to the side of the road and reported the incident to the Ulu police. Police confirmed the cub showed no signs of life, but did report sighting an adult Formosan black bear lingering around on a nearby cliff for a while before leaving the area, so they're assuming that it might be the cub's mother. At just 2.6 kilograms or 5.7 pounds and 56 centimeters in length, which is 22 inches in length, this is the youngest recorded bear death and the first on this section of the highway. An autopsy is scheduled through the Wild One Wildlife Hospital, but it's currently suspected that the cub may have fallen from the cliff that the mother, likely the mother, was sighted on. The Forestry and Nature Conservation Agency officials made sure to thank the cyclist for reporting the incident. People are encouraged to report sightings of the bears and other wildlife immediately by using the 1999 hotline, that is 1999, or the Forestry and Nature Conservation Agency's 24-hour hotline at 0800 000 930. The public is also advised to carry bear bells or other noise-making devices when traveling in mountainous areas, so keep that in mind if you're thinking about going hiking or adventuring. Have you ever seen clickers being used in dog training? Perhaps you've wondered what they're for or why they might work. Do they work better than, treats? Let's talk about that. A clicker is a small handheld device that makes a distinct click sound when pressed, and it's commonly used in positive reinforcement dog training. The clicker acts as a marker, a precise way to tell your dog, yes, this is exactly the behavior I wanted. It's like taking a snapshot of the exact moment your dog does something right. First, you teach your dog to associate the sound with something positive. This is a very distinct sound, so it might be, to a dog's ears, more distinct than somebody saying, yes, good boy, good girl, that kind of thing. So, to teach your dog to associate the sound with something positive, you can click the device and then immediately give your dog a treat. After several repetitions, the dog learns click equals treat. Once the dog understands that the click means a reward is coming, you start to use the click to mark desired behaviors. For example, if you're teaching your dog how to sit, you click it the moment their butt touches the ground and then give them a treat. Shaping complex actions can also be a use for these clickers. Trainers will often use clickers to shape these complex behaviors by clicking and rewarding small steps towards the goal. For example, to teach a dog to roll over, you'd first click for them lying down, then for shifting onto one side, and so on. The click is faster, more distinct, and more consistent than saying good dog, and helps bridge the gap between the behavior and the reward. This improves learning speed and clarity for the dog. It can also, in many cases, prevent the dog from getting excited about a treat. This segment of the show will teach listeners just like you how to train dogs. Starting with the basics, tune in each episode, and you'll eventually be able to do just about anything as far as dog training goes. As we get to start understanding the dog psyche, the animal psyche, some of these tips and insight into the psychology of the animal mind will also help you with other animals and just help you understand overall what they're thinking, how they think, and how they're not. This is a huge one. A big myth is that they're plotting against you. I don't currently live with any dogs, but find the knowledge widely applicable as I grew up with dogs. Hear of people in my circle who are struggling to train their dogs and run into stray dogs on my way home in Taiwan every day. So if you're like me and don't currently have a way to apply these methods, there's no telling when exactly they might come in handy. Recently, in the past few years and even past few months, a powerful wave has been sweeping through Taiwan's tech giants, turning environmental responsibility from a checkbox into a core mission. Companies like TSMC, Delta Electronics, and Google are constantly increasing their investment in green projects, from urban mining and coral reef replanting to offshore wind deals and water recycling systems. Now, the trend extends beyond land and sea. Google is diving deep to protect Taiwan's waterways. Google just recently announced that they are committing $3 million or 89.7 million NT dollars to clean polluted rivers in Taiwan and build a more sustainable water system. Taiwan receives a lot of rainfall, over 2,500 millimeters per year, which is nearly 2.6 times the global average. Despite all that rain, Taiwan consistently ranks among the world's top 20 countries most at risk for water scarcity. How and why? It comes down to three main issues: geography, infrastructure, and climate change. About 2/3 of Taiwan is mountainous, which means rainwater rushes into rivers and out to sea before it can be stored or absorbed. Taiwan has few large natural lakes or groundwater reservoirs. Most of its water comes from man-made reservoirs, but sedimentation and aging infrastructure have reduced their efficiency. Major cities and industries, especially semiconductor manufacturing, consume large amounts of water. Taiwan is particularly vulnerable to drought because it relies heavily on seasonal typhoons to replenish water supplies. When those typhoons fail to materialize, as it happened in 2021, when Taiwan saw its worst drought in over half a century, reservoirs can drop to critical levels. That year, the government had to ration water in major tech hubs, even suspending irrigation in some regions to prioritize semiconductor production, according to Island Times. Google's local effort is part of a broader sustainability push at their facilities in Taiwan. Since 2022, its Zhanghua data center has cooled exclusively using industrial-grade recycled water, sparing public reserves. A pilot in partnership with agri-tech firm Ndrip installs gravity-powered drip irrigation systems. If that went right over your head, no worries. It kind of did mine too. Translation: they install systems that significantly reduce agricultural water consumption. Essentially, Google is pledging to double the country's commercial geothermal capacity and power its regional data centers with clean energy. Again, thank you to each and every one of you listening. I am really grateful that this program could stick around for 50 episodes, and I hope you'll continue to enjoy the content. Send me an email with whatever thoughts, ideas, or feedback you have for me because, first of all, I want to hear more from listeners, and second of all, I really value outside opinions. If you want to send me an email, you can send that to tristan@rti.org.tw. That's tristan@rti.org.tw. See you next time for Formosa Fauna Fridays here on Radio Taiwan International.